once again, hello, my name is Alexandra or Shappi. I'm a cosplayer from Poland, and I'm here with in Lithuania. I think it's my third time here, and I just love Baltic so much, so I'm super happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And today, I think I'm going to talk about working as a cosplayer and how to earn money, in this very weird and kind of new, still new and fresh profession. So let's start. I'm going to be as fast as possible so I can make time for your questions. So that's my work. I usually make costumes of armors. I try to make something from games. I'm actually a gamer myself. And this industry, gaming industry, is actually one of the most welcoming industry for cosplayers, because that's where you actually, working as a cosplayer started. I think Game On is one of the most good ideas and good things to show you how does the industry work, since you can see a lot of booths, and booths are one of the places where cosplayers can start working. Let me show you three main, of course there's a lot of different ways to make cosplay a profession, thank you, profession. And three of them, the most important one is working as a booth hostess, working as a costume creator, and working in marketing. They are kind of connected because they all involve, making costumes and, presenting yourself, but they're all quite different. So let's start with cosplaying, at the booth, being a cosplayer at the booth. So Game On is not as big event as, for example, Gamescom or those huge events in USA, but it's still, having those booths, you can see cosplayers being there. And I know it's fresh. I know it's, it's kind of starting for cosplayers here, but we usually are and should get paid for being there. If you can just think about that, cosplayers are not only a hostess. We are providing very detailed costumes. We are providing the knowledge of characters, their story, how they act, and we usually, bringing people with our own social media marketing. So that's why cosplayers usually, at least in Western world and Western fandoms, are very, very valuable thing for the brands on their booths. As you can see, those events are usually very, very crowded, and those people, as I think you guys can see here in Game On, how people are waiting in lines to play games, right? So cosplayers are not only looking pretty, and we are not only taking pictures. We are also taking care of the guests. We are taking care of them if they're doing okay. We can check on them. We are talking to them. We're kind of entertaining them, so they are not like waiting and being very, very bored. Also, cosplayers, so people are playing. Also, cosplayers, for sure, are also a moving picture, moving wall. I know it sounds quite kind of sad because we are not moving wall. We are normal people, but we are usually a very good place to things to take pictures with. It sounds funny, but that's how it is. People are loving to have some memories from conventions, and cosplayers are usually their favorite characters brought to life. So it's really important to understand that behind the costumes, we are still people. So, a few of my friends from Lithuania told me that you guys are having problems with people being too touchy, for example, when the guys are coming to you and trying to, hug you like you're a mascot or a sculpture. So just think about that. If someone came to you and hugged you this way, you wouldn't like it, right? So yeah, just think about that as a human people. How about the prices? Usually the booths should cover your travel, your accommodation, and also working hours. I'm not going to talk about decent, amounts here. I'm just thinking about how it works. So, if you are going to ask and try to be working at the booth, don't forget to be, demanding. You are actually an employee, and the guys from the company should take you as a normal working person. So don't forget to demand, your normal stuff to work. So besides looking pretty, we also take part in entertainment time. We go on stages, we talk to crowds, give away some goodies. This lady is actually just a hostess. I couldn't find a cosplayer doing that. But believe me, cosplayers do it as well. And we try to, give it as as good as possible, and it's also very important for people who operate the booths to not make any crowds or any dangerous situation. Here on Game On it's not that bad, but if you, for example, give away some goodies, you can see people trying to be very squeezy, they jump for it, and it's not safe. So also a cosplayer job is to take care of it, you have to be careful and not to cause any troubles. Oh, sorry. So my first actually gig as a cosplayer was on Gamescom. Gamescom is one of the biggest events of gaming events in Europe, and it's crazy. You can see how many people are here just on the corridors, and the halls are twice as big. So that's really not friendly for cosplayers and costumes. Basically how I got this job and how I can just like wink to my friends, to my cosplayer friends, is to ask away. Don't be shy, don't sit at home and don't just wait for your prince on white horse to come to you and give you this awesome job on Gamescom. No, come on, build your portfolio, build your page, build your Facebook page, some social pages, and just write to your companies and just offer them your services. Usually, the people, I think in Lithuania, it's, as I told you before, it's really fresh, so the companies don't really know how to deal with it. So just try to, tell them how you work, what can you do, what can you offer, what costumes do you have with you. It's very important so they know what the choice you have. And just be brave, It's waiting and sitting at home is not going to bring you anywhere. So just try it out, and believe me, after a few conventions like that, few works like that, it's going to roll and you're going to find it very easily. Okay, so that was my first costume. I made this costume or the order from the game Dragon's Prophet. And this costume was made, of course, I was paid to make this costume, and I was paid for materials. So also remember that never make costumes, special costume for a game if they are not, paying you. It's still your work, right? So I made a photo shoot and just presented this costume on Gamescom. The next event also was The Witcher, Witcher from Poland. So it was easier for me to connect with them. You can also look for games coming from Lithuania. I think it will be just easier for you to talk with them. And then just, build costumes. Build costumes, present them, and overall do the presentation look. It's very important. Okay, I know I'm quite fast with that everything, but I hope we will have time for the questions later. That's why I'm jumping to another one, which will be making costumes. Not every cosplayer is making his costume. Some of us are buying them, some of us are just borrowing them, and everything is okay. Until we go into for a contest, right? So. In the contest, you always make your costume yourself, but you can always buy or borrow it. You can also be one of the people who are making costumes, not only for yourself, but also for the other people. And this is one of the examples of the costumes that I made for models. Actually, those girls, one of them is one of the Miss Poland of 2014 or something, the one in the black one. So we just team up and make costumes for the models who are presenting game Ion for one of the marketing teams in Poland, Gry Online. So you don't really have to make costumes on yourself, you can also make something for the models and make them wear it. For cosplayers, I think sometimes it's even better because costumes are so comfortable. So I'm not even mad if someone is asking me to make costume for someone else. So that could be a very nice thing, and also very fun experience if you're working in team. We didn't sleep that night. It was the night before dressing the models in the costumes. It was horrible, but we made it, and we had very good memories. The work consists, of course, of making costume, then collecting it, making it to attach to the models, make sure that it fits. It usually takes a whole day to prepare a model for the photo shoot. This young fellow wasn't really happy to be put in costume, but he looked amazing in the end. So we just take care of the models, dress them, style them, put some makeup, then help with the photo shoots. And in the end, the results are the photos that we receive later for the company, and they of course can use it. In this one of this case, the costumes were fully to the company. The pictures they just own the pictures later, and the costumes were worn by the models on the other gaming events around Europe and around the States. So in this case, you don't really put the costume on yourself, but you're making the job for the others. But you can also make different costumes, for yourself, for the models. It depends on the events, on the needs. Here's one of the examples of a costume that I made for a model from the USA, and I never met this girl before. I only had her measurements, and I had to think how to attach it to her, so it would be easy for her to dress herself without my help. It was hard, but I think she managed. She looks okay. Also, you can make costumes not only for companies, but also for people who are just ordering them from you, like, directly. You don't have to look for companies. You can look for some groups. For example, on Facebook, there's a lot of groups like buy costumes, commission costumes. You can just look for the customers there, talk to them, make your work with there, and then you can just work for the normal people. Just make sure when you are making costume to take half of the price of the costume beforehand, so you can have some money for the materials, and after your work is done, you receive the second half. The price depends on you, how do you feel, but if I can give you an advice, don't go low. Really, it's better to go higher. If the company is not happy with the price, you can always negotiate it down. But just value your work, value your time. One of the best ideas that I had to value my time was to think and count how much money I would earn, for example, working in McDonald's for 1 hour. So I don't know how it is in Lithuania. Do you guys have an idea how much euro you get paid for 1 hour? Anyone knows? Okay, so depends on the country, okay? So try to make it double at least, because if you're working on this costume for so long and you're getting paid lower price than you were working in McDonald's, that would be so sad, I mean, McDonald's is a cool job, but working in making full costume is really hard. So please try to value your time, value your work, and value the skills you have, because making costumes is not only, plain sewing. It's a lot of thinking, a lot of experience, of techniques that not mortals, the one who walk on the pavements normally, they don't really know the stuff we do. So please value your experience and how you make them. Okay, what else? Some other props I made from people, for orders. You can just find people that look for a certain prop, for a certain costume. If you are feeling like you can do it, you just contact them and, for example, also give your price. Please go higher, and then you can go lower if they are not happy with it. But if they say yes for your higher price, we win, right? Okay. So what else? Here's one of the examples. One of the most funny jobs I had was to make. It was a few years ago. So now in League of Legends, it actually changed. But do you guys remember the old turrets, the one with the birds? So one of my orders was to make turret for League of Legends booth in Poland. So we created this big bird out of different materials, and we had to transport it. Imagine 3 little girls transporting this thing in a plane. Imagine, it was so funny. Like, we looked so funny. So this thing was one of the biggest and funniest projects we made. And also, as you can notice, it's not a costume, it's just a statue. So we don't really have to make costumes, you can also make props and statues for booths. And next topic will be hosting and marketing, and always social media. It's a very important topic, especially now when the social media era is really important, and slowly companies are starting to understand how important the marketing and advertisement in social media is. So one of the most important and hard jobs actually are hosting events, hosting small stage performances, hosting panels just like this one. They are one of the hardest things to do because the stress is overwhelming. In costume, you don't have to speak, you don't have to do anything. You can just stand and just look pretty. In the panel, the stress getting over. So this is one of the hardest jobs you can do. But it's also very important because cosplayers are bringing color, and they are just bringing attention to the event that you want to make. And in this whole, huge hall with so many people, so many lights, and everyone is shouting, it's very important to, bring the attention. So people from booths the companies like to use cosplayers for marketing reasons and just for hosting some events. Also, Another idea of hosting and marketing will be preparing photo shoots for other cosplayers or for models. We don't really have to make only. We don't really have to only make costumes. We can also use some planning, some schedules, and we can also prepare photo shoots for the other people. Here's one of the examples of the photo shoots for Assassin's Creed in Ubisoft in Poland. I prepared. And there was a lot of cosplayers from different countries. I believe we also have cosplayers from Lithuania there. So we all just gathered the cosplayers who are, cosplaying from the certain game, and then we prepared the photo shoot for the client. It was also quite hard. It was mainly marketing based, but it was super fun, and it was one of the gigs that cosplayer can do because we are cosplayers. We know how the other cosplayers feel, what they need, what the photographers need, and we just can combine our knowledge to prepare some cool stuff. What else? One of other ideas will be contests. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the idea. I know in the West it's very, very popular to prepare contests for the cosplayers because basically it makes a lot of sense for social media. Cosplayers are pretty, the pictures are pretty, they are very clickable, so people like to watch it and just put a lot of effort into the contest. So the client will be very happy with the reach they have on social media. So the contests are usually also preparing for cosplayers. They gather the nice pictures. Then you just vote, or you can always hire a jury of other cosplayers or other costumery professionals, and then they can help you with the choice. So it also makes a lot of sense for their marketing because it makes a lot of reach, and the pictures are always good to show later in your company. Yeah. So one of the ways though to earn money and work as a cosplayer will be just show your skills on the booths. Some countries like to show live working with some materials, some stuff. If you guys have shops with cosplay supplies, I know many countries have their own, and they like to build the booths where you can actually see how the cosplayers work on the materials. They can explain your work. They can just explain the techniques and styles, and in this way you can work on the booth and show the other cosplayers how you work. And also, if you're working with some materials from the shop are getting some interest in the materials, in the products that are selling. So with your work, with your knowledge, you can encourage other cosplayers to buy the stuff from the booth. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to be very fast. Sorry for that. Other way will be also hold workshops. Here's one of the pictures of the workshops that I had in school. We just came to the children, kids of 15, 16, so they're not children, teenagers. We came to teenagers who were interested in making costumes, interested in art, and we then just sat down, we talked about making armors, using foams, all the subjects that they wanted to hear about, and then we just had some hours of pure work together. It was also paid by school, so it was a very nice way to spend your time and also earn some extra money for your materials. And also marketing online is also very nice using cosplayers. Many different companies are trying to hire cosplayers to do some marketing, some shoots for them for certain occasions or projects or products. Here's just an example of 2 costumes that I made and promoted some stuff with it. On the top you had a booth about Star Wars that was coming out in Poland, so I made costume from Star Wars, Mara Jade. And also we have a company who was making very nice old clocks. So I just used it with my Hextech, steampunk costume, and it looks just nice. So if you just find some products that they are actually very fitting your cosplay style, your costumes that you own, that you have, it's not a bad idea to try to use those costumes as a marketing tool and try to use them in your photo shoots, or maybe create a costume just for the special occasion. For example, movies are a very good idea. There are so many movies coming out, Star Wars or Disney movies, where you can just prepare a costume for the premiere in the cinema and try to, encourage people to take pictures with you, to ask questions about the movie. It's one of the best and nicest way to promote the titles in the cinema, for example. What else? Does it work? And some other ideas that you guys can take from me and try to use it in your own making money way working with children is one of the funniest things. In Poland, we have a few amusement parks. They hold events for children and for young adults, and then you can just dress up in your costumes from, for example, from comics or from games or from Disney, and then you can just walk around in those parks and entertain the children and their parents. So it is actually one of my favorite time of the year. Every June we have this event for children, and also the amusement park is paying us hourly for working there. Of course, our travel and accommodation is also paid. So if you guys have this kind of parks here in Lithuania, maybe you can just ask them for this way of events. And maybe, also the birthday and children parties. It's also a very good idea to just dress up in your Disney, Elsa or Anna, and just jump in, and those kids should be thrilled to see you. So don't be shy and ask the parents if they are, looking for some other ways to amuse their children. Would be nice. Also contests. I think it's quite new idea also here to get money from contests. Usually, I think it was some smaller gifts. Usually, it was like this in Baltics. I think it's recently, a few years ago, that you guys have like very big prizes. And it's really good to try your skills and try to participate in those contests. It's not easy to win, but if you are just working hard on your costumes, on your skills, it's very probable that you can do it. So please try, don't get discouraged if you don't make it first or second time. Just keep going, keep trying, keep polishing your skills, and it should go way better the next time. Yeah, I believe you guys have one contest today on LG booth or something, where you also can win money, so you can try it if you want it. Just a small promotion from my friend. And also Patreon. Patreon is one of the newest way to support cosplayers or any other artists. It's kind of tricky because you have to be working hard to make the support coming. But if you are just looking in the cosplay as a real profession, you should consider Patreon. I'm actually opening mine as well soon, because I think it's one of the best way to support your favorite artists and see some backstage stuff, some special stuff, tutorials, all the things that you can learn from it. So it's one of the best sites if you want to support people who you like and adore. And you can also open a store. And there are different platforms to hold stores. There is Store Envy, Etsy. You can also open stores, like private one, and sell stuff on conventions. You just need to put a lot of stuff in it, different items that can go into different people. So don't only go for prints, you can also go for some crafting, some small commissions, and then try to offer your services on those shops. I don't only sell prints, I try to diversify it. I do some crafting, some headbands, some gemstones, some small props, just something that goes well with cosplayers that they're interested in purchasing for their own stylizations or costumes. So those shops are a very nice idea to open. I myself use Store Envy because I believe it takes the smaller fee from all the shops I found online. Etsy right now is taking crazy fee from cosplayers, all the artists. So we can search about that, but personally I suggest Store Envy. And yeah, just try to set it up, tweet about it, put it somewhere in the online social media, and try to encourage people to see your stuff. Maybe they will like something and support you. And now something more practical, how to survive your job. If you're working anywhere, on the event, on some gaming parties, children parties, everywhere, you will need some tricks to make you survive this hard time. And my first will be, if it works, always have some documents. Never work on mouth, never work on the honest word, never trust people that will pay you on time. No, just for sure make some documents with them when you have dates, when you're getting paid, what you guys are expecting of you, and what you can expect of them. Those papers are the only way that you can always secure yourself from having troubles with companies later. I'm not, also myself. I also forgot to do it a few times. I trusted someone, and then I had problems later when I wasn't getting paid for a year, for example. One company was clothes to go to the court with me for the money from the work. So documents are going to save your ass in many ways and many times. So please don't forget about that. And also, don't work for free. Please don't. It's work, right? It's not like charity, it's work. So if you're working for a company, please ask for something. Don't agree on slice of pizza, don't agree on a mouse pad or for a keyboard. Don't do it. You are working. It's normal work like you can do in any other institution. So please ask for normal fee and just don't agree on other smaller gifts for your work, because if you do, the companies will learn that they can just give you some cheap headset and then you work for that, and other cosplayers who are actually valuing themselves maybe not higher, but they are just value their work and their costumes. They are not going to get any job, and then the market will kill themselves because they will just see that it's no use to ask for money for your work because no one will give you the work. So just please value your work, your time, your skills, and don't work for free. Also, take care of yourself. In this picture, you can see we are not wearing shoes with my friend because we are having the 20-centimeter heels. And girl, it wasn't very wise, if I can tell you. It was one of the stupidest ideas to work a few days in a very high heels. So always have a very comfy shoes for change, like today. Just have some flats. Just don't remember that, you have to look pretty, but you also have to take care of your feet because you have to work for a few days. So it's not smart to break your leg in the first day. Yeah. Remember about safety and being comfy. Also remember about eating. Please take breaks for food, for water. Your company, if they are hiring you, they should give you at least 1 hour per day for lunch break. They should provide you some water. So please ask them for that. It'll be very important, and you just need to stay healthy and strong during the day. Conventions can be very, very tiring, especially if you're wearing heavy costume. So make sure that you are getting hydrated, and you don't forget to eat something one day. Once per day or twice. Also, it's a very good idea to take care, to go around the business booths, to talk with the companies, to talk with the developers, and just, for example, tell them, hello, I'm making costumes, maybe you're looking for someone to hire for next convention. And in this way, you can actually secure yourself a next job, next event, or just, make some connections and make sure that you can talk to them, and maybe if they need someone, they will know who to search for. So it's very important to not forget to make new friends on the convention and just offer them your services. And the thing that goes with it will be cards, cosplay cards. I know cosplayers make cosplay cards just to trade with each other, just like a Pokemon card sometimes. It's a brutal comparison, but sometimes it looks like that. But remember that cosplay cards are here for the reason. And usually we have our email, our social media links, something that will just show, and if someone is looking for you, they will just know where to find you. It's also very important for photographers. If you take some pictures on a cosplay contest, or you just take some pictures on the corridor, you can always give the photographers later your card, and they will know where to send the pictures for you. Because it's hard to remember every cosplayer from the event. So if you can just give the cards to them, they will just send you the pictures, and you won't have to look for them on the internet. And also, important thing that I kind of told you before, but I want to really stress that, will be cosplay is not constant. And please remember that cosplayers are not wax figurines. We are not figurines at all. We are just humans in, of course, weird stuff. We are wearing very weird stuff, but we're still people, and we still need, to take us seriously, and just remember that do not touch us without any consent. If you're not saying yes, please don't do it. Just try to be polite and think if this person was, for example, your mother or your sister, would you touch that hair? No, you wouldn't, right? So just remember that we are all human, and please be respectful. And thank you.